Alrighty, welcome back to another video, and you saw the thumbnail. Today I'm going to be doing a kind of 6 to 8 month review on what I think of this car painted with tractor paint, how I like it, any issues I've ran into, and would I recommend it. Starting off with the price for this, for everything, buying a spray gun, buying the paint, everything you need to do at the sander and everything was $400. The paint alone was around $200, so it wasn't too bad. There's definitely paints you can get for cheaper and a little more expensive that would be better or worse, but you can see there's a little orange peel, but this tractor paint worked out pretty nice. The only issues I've ran into so far is a little bit of chipping, but what do you expect for a cheaper paint job, because just rocks come up and hit it, like right there too. That's not too bad. This summer I'm probably going to like touch up some things, wet sand all this orange peel out, and then do a clear coat and make this paint job like really nice. But just for this year, this paint job has been really nice. And then here again, a couple of the rocks came up and hit the paint, you know, so there's a couple spots in the lower, but you can't even tell where that is, or like here something got rubbed up against it. So I should have a really quick touch up job, but I can wet sand that down, do a better job, and then clear coat it, and you won't even be able to tell. And like I said, I didn't spend money on clear coat, and that's why I've had these issues. But if you spend another $150 on clear coat, you know, wet sand this, polish this, make this real nice, and put a clear coat on there, stuff like this won't happen. I just didn't have money at the time, but this summer I definitely will be putting a clear coat on there. And this is just road salt and whatnot, so that's also the nice thing. It cleans up real nice. Like here's some road salt, it doesn't scratch at all. So that's one benefit. And then another thing that was my fault, when I was painting the car, I had the headlights popped up so I could get the sides of the headlights, but this part was under the here, and so it didn't quite get all the way down. So I'll have to touch that up this summer and redo that, but that shouldn't be too bad. So with the headlights popped, you can't even tell that's there. You know, the sides look real nice and everything, so it's not a big deal. That's just depending how much time you want to spend prepping. And like here, you know, little things, that's going to happen with any paint job. Or when I was painting the hood part, there's a little bit, but you know, you can barely tell from here. It's not a big deal. That's just how much you want to spend on prepping and taping off and whatnot. And especially on these, you know, quirky cars that look real unique and whatnot, you know, you don't need fancy paint jobs. You just need it to look good from a little whiles away, because the next day after I was done painting this, we took it to a car show and we won that car show. So, you know, it's not a $4,000 paint job, but I didn't spend $4,000 on it. And especially if this is going to be on like a daily driver, especially, you know, whatever, you don't need to spend a bunch of money. You just need to make it look nice, because this, along with this car, will be one of my daily drivers. And so especially once I get clear coat on this, I won't even have to worry about the paint, and then I'll probably ceramic coat that, and then it's just fine. Because this here, I ceramic coated it, and it's practically a mirror. It's a little dirty, but, you know, that's original paint. This is definitely not original paint. But if you're going to daily drive it, you don't need to spend a ton on paint. It just needs to look nice. And that's another thing, when you're painting your car, don't go cheap on some different things like masking off your wheels, because you'll get some paint on that, and that's kind of annoying. It's not like it looks too bad, but, you know, just a little extra step that doesn't cost much that can make a big difference. And here's another one of those, like, where I kind of touched up real quick. I didn't even wet sand it or anything, but I got a little scratch because I'm assuming someone's ring or something at a car show rubbed up against that and caused that. So it's not a big deal, but that's what you get when you show your cars, I guess. And I don't have clear coat. If I had clear coat, it would have just been a simple scratch and it would have done nothing, but this paint's kind of delicate if you don't have a clear coat. So if you have money, just spend a little extra on clear coat and protect your tractor paint a little more. It'll be like $400 versus $500. And it's a little dirty right now because we've been driving this in the snow. But right here, I got a couple of runs. But for cheaper paint, this isn't bad. Like, this is about the only run I got, and then I got worn on the door. And this isn't even really noticeable. You know, you stand back, it's like, you can see it, but nobody's going to be looking for that specifically. Here's that other run. It's dirty because we've been driving in the snow, but you have to be looking for it to find it. I mean, I even had to look for it, and I knew it was there. So it's really not that noticeable. And with some wet sanding and a clear coat, you're not going to be able to notice that. So most of the issues I've had with this is because I didn't spend an extra $100 on some clear coat. So if you have a little bit extra money, then get that clear coat. And when you're prepping the car for paint, if your car is not fiberglass, and it's just metal, then get a sandblaster, because I couldn't use a sandblaster on this with the gel coat. It would have damaged that, and so I had to sand it all down, and it took a long time. Like when I paint my El Camino this summer and my Camaro, I'm just gonna buy the $200 some Eastwood sandblaster. I guess Eastwood has anywhere from $250 to up to $1,000 sandblasters, but you just need a cheap 50 to 100 pound sandblaster to get that paint off, and it would go a lot smoother, and you'll be able to get down to bare metal easier. I would dig out the sander, show you that I use, but if you're on the motorcycle in those bins, I'm not about to dig that out. So it was just a cheap sander off of Amazon that I used, and it worked nice. It just took a lot longer as opposed to if I had a metal car and I could sandblast it. And a lot of this just applies to painting any car, but just go ahead, take your mirrors off. It's 2 screws, at least on this car. It definitely cleans up that plastic and keeps that nice, because opposed to the sunroof, I couldn't just take that plastic off, and I got a lot of overspray on that, and it doesn't look too good. So just take off some extra things like that, or like this car with that chrome. That's a lot of chrome to take off, you know, but at least mask it off nice. I still have to take Christmas lights off this car because it's a whole thing with this one. You know, I'm gonna have to rebuild the engine again because it's a whole thing. Go check that out. I'll have the playlist linked down in the description. But, you know, when you're painting a car, if you can, take off mirrors, chrome, anything extra that you can, or at least make sure to tape it off really good, or else you get overspray on it. And somewhere along here, right there, you can see that kind of drip right there. That's in the paint because I had a dryer, but it was a kind of a cheap dryer that was on the gun, and it was dripping. And so it dripped once on the paint, made kind of a watermark. It doesn't look too bad, but just spend a little bit extra on a little more expensive dryer so you don't get any sort of that. And also, you know, if you want to, you can go mask off your engine bay so you don't get crap in there when you're sanding. Because I still have, you can't see it very much, but there's still a little bit of dust from sanding on the carbon filter and, you know, on the transmission. So it's not a big deal, but if you care to take that time to mask off your engine to not get dust in there, go ahead and do that. Just take the extra 10 minutes. So basically, all the problems I have is because I haven't put clear coat on it. But if you want to spend the $100, $200 extra for clear coat, go ahead and do it. You can spend $400 to $600 and do a complete paint job, a really nice paint job with tractor paint on your car. So I think that's going to do it for today. See you guys next time, and thanks for watching.